Can you believe it? Already 15 days into 2026. Hope everyone is still on track with those New Year's resolutions. Thank you for joining me tonight on this chilly and very, very cold Thursday night episode of Sports Talk. I'm riding solo, but we do have a great show for you. We're going to have a look at the upcoming College Football Playoff National Championship. Plus, we're going to name our first VSU Scholar Athlete of the new year, but we start tonight in Lakeland. Lanier County introducing their new head coach, Marcus Gowan. Gowans becomes the Bulldogs' third head coach in the last 4 seasons. He comes to Lakeland after 1 year at Gordon Central, where he led the Warriors to their first winning season since 2012. With the success, the question became, why leave Gordon Central? For Coach, the answer was easy.
I mean, it's South Georgia. Come on now. Friday Night Lights in South Georgia is just different. I mean, you know, for me, just kind of the majority of my coaching career being down here, it's just a different experience overall. It's a great environment Friday nights, and, you know, small town football, the town shuts down for football, and I think that's super exciting.
Now, South Georgia is a place Gowan is once called home with a stint at Crisp County, and before taking that Gordon Central position, he spent 4 seasons at Valdosta under current head coach Shelton Felton, where he served as the offensive line coach, assistant head coach, and the co-offensive coordinator.
You know, greatness is a mindset, something that he taught every day to our kids, 4th and 1 mentality, and it's something that I've carried over in my life day to day. And I think really for me, you know, just what it preps you for being an elite caliber program, I think is what has really prepared me to be a good head coach, hopefully.
Now, Coach added that his goal is to turn the tide in Lakeland with what he calls a bite mentality. He wants the team to be bold in what they do, have an invested mindset, be tough, and be excellent. And with those things, believes the Bulldogs can be very special. Now, this is one of many moves that have happened over the course really of the past 2 weeks here in South Georgia. 3 coaching vacancies here in South Georgia remain. Monroe, of course, Coach Lacey Herring stepping away just last week. Mitchell County, where Dondriel Pinkins was let go, and then Cook, and we saw Coach Byron Slack make his way over to Brunswick. Now, there were reports earlier this week about a possible departure from new head coach of Bainbridge, Jamie DeBose. Those reports, they were just rumors. You know how the internet gets as these coaching positions continue to open up. His introduction will be later this month, and this just keeps happening over the course of this offseason. We have seen a number of changes throughout the state, and they expect some more movement. So keep your eyes open for who's going to be taking over those positions here in South Georgia. All right, let's talk some basketball now. After splitting the first 2 games of the season, well, the Westover Patriots have been one of the hottest teams in all of Georgia. The Patriots have rattled off 12 straight wins, including back-to-back victories over their Good Life City rivals Monroe and Doherty. Of course, the Patriots are led by longtime head coach Dallas Smith, who was recently honored for capturing his 500th career win, something he says wouldn't be possible without his mentor, the one who the Boston Garden is named after, legendary head coach Willie Boston.
If it wasn't for him, there would not be a Coach Dallas Smith. He came to me and he wanted me to come help him. And when I started helping him and I picked up on everything that he was trying to teach, I kind of liked the game. Well, played the game. I think we were the first to take him to the state here at Westover when he became the head coach. So it's all with him and all about what God had planned for him.
Now, it's been absolute dominance at the Garden. Over the last 5 seasons, Westover is a combined 49-8 at home. They are off to their best start since that 2021-22 season. That year, they finished 25-4, and they made a trip to the 3A state championship. And 2026 is looking like a chance to run it back. Very possible for Coach Smith and his guys. Well, if you haven't had a chance to get to the Garden this season, your next opportunity will be the 20th. They'll have a region matchup against Peach County. We stay in the West for more milestones. How about this? Sydney Donaldson recently eclipsing the 1,000-point total. Donaldson is leading the Lady Patriots once again in scoring with just under 20 points a game, most recently dropping 25 against Doherty. And scoring a theme, and not too many do it better than Monroe Jr. KJ Acree. The Lady Tornado star now sits at the top of the list for points scored in Doherty County. She recently topped the mark set by Jen Robinson. Acree continues to smash records, and make sure you tune in tomorrow night on the Locker Room Report, because we're going to have more on this accomplishment tomorrow night. Speaking of history, earlier this week, It was Daniel Hicks, recognized for making history as a Chess Academy Knight. Hicks became the first in the program to reach 1,000 points. The senior, who looks up to the greatest shooter of all time, of course we all know who that is, Steph Curry, telling me it's all possible because of the hard work.
It means the absolute world to me. This game, I'm married to the game, right? And that's how I was able to score 1,000, in my opinion. You know, playing basketball, just shooting, rain or shine, sickness or in health. And I want to show in how I play, not only the glory of God, of course, but to show that if you do exactly that, marry yourself to the game, then you'll be able to do this and more. Doesn't matter where you take it. For me, it just enforces the idea of, you know, putting in the reps, and because shots like that get easier and easier as the reps come. And a shot like that just brings me more motivation to keep working on that. What made me really stay here and to stick with this team is just the relationships I built in this team and the brotherhood that we have. I couldn't trade that for the world, and I feel like that's the reason why we've been as successful as we are.
Now, I mentioned we're just 15 days into the new year, and just think about the milestones we've already had. Finally, former Early County, Florida State, and now Indiana Fever star Michaela Timpson saw her jersey retired last week. Timpson, an example to student athletes from smaller schools that if you put your mind to something and work hard, all is possible. Currently, we talked about she played overseas, or she headed overseas after the WNBA season, and she's now joined Unrivaled to be part of that developmental pool as she continues to develop her game. And she's genuinely one of the nicest humans if you've ever had a chance to interact with her. She's great. In fact, if you want to hear more from her, be sure to tune in this Sunday on Dialogue with Carla Heath Sands right here on WALB. All right, one name off the board of available coaches in the NFL, the Falcons adding a name to their list. We're talking head coaching carousel in the NFL when we come back. Well, we're just days away from the College Football National Championship in the beautiful city of Miami. The party is already underway in the 305. Playoff Fan Central getting ready to begin, offering fans a great interactive experience to immerse themselves in everything the CFP has to offer. This year, fans will travel from all over to take part in the week. As far as the participants in the game, well, only one team will have to rack up the miles. The Canes will be comfortable at home, but head coach Mario Cristobal says it's just like every other week.
You know, the routine doesn't change at all. You know, it's almost identical because you do have to check into a hotel, you know, a specific hotel on a specific date. The only thing that changes is that classes have started, you know, and we have, I believe, 28 new members, 29 of the 30 new members of our team here practicing with us, which is great for us. You know, as the year goes on, we've lost some guys to injury, and they've been able to get a glimpse of what preparation is like. But aside from that and preparing for a game, nothing changes.
Just like 2025, both teams will address the media. This weekend, a lot of talk about the experience of the road team and top-ranked team in the nation, the Indiana Hoosiers. Kurt Cignetti's style of rostering guys with years of experience has paid off and shifted the culture of Indiana football. Cignetti addressed the difference between young guys and the vets in a virtual presser earlier this week.
I think when you're talking about the high school signees, they change a lot between their freshman year and their senior year. And now, you know, their developmental curve is different. Every guy's a little bit different. Some come in more ready to play than others. Some it takes a while to mature physically. Some it's mental. But there's no question about it that, you know, a 22-year-old is a little wiser, older, bigger, stronger. He's had 4 years in the offense, defense, or special teams. And, you know, he's a more productive player.
Now, despite not having to travel, the Canes will actually be the road team Monday night. Former Georgia Bulldog Carson Beck will making waves about his transfer from between the hedges. Might have some Dawg fans rooting on the Hoosiers in this one. Events in Miami are going to continue throughout the weekend, leading up to kickoff And that kickoff will begin Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Well, the first domino has fallen in the NFL coaching carousel. It didn't take long for fired Baltimore Ravens head coach John Harbaugh to find his new spot. ESPN reporting that the New York Giants and Harbaugh are working towards a deal to make him the next head coach. The Ravens let Harbaugh go last week. He's reportedly taking over for Mike Kafka, who was coaching the Giants on an interim basis after the team fired Brian Daboll earlier this year. Neither the Giants nor Harbaugh have confirmed the deal, but it looks like the hottest coach on the market has found his new home. Now, Harbaugh met with the Falcons branch earlier and said it was reported that they were going to be scheduled for a visit later this week. Who knows if that remains the case. So the search continues. According to the NFL Network, the Falcons will interview former Raider head coach Antonio Pierce for their head coaching position. Pierce interviewed for the Giants job last week and is set for an in-person meeting with Matt Ryan and the group later this week. Well, if you take a look at the head coaching vacancies, there are 8 remaining. Atlanta, of course, tops the list here in the Peach State: Miami, Pittsburgh, Tennessee, Vegas, Cleveland, Baltimore, and Arizona rounding out those 8. So I decided to let everybody know who is my top spot for head coaching vacancies. We have to start with the Baltimore Ravens. I think having a franchise quarterback, most talented, obviously Lamar Jackson, providing a roster that has a number of talented players on it. I think you have to look at them as the top spot for head coaching vacancy. Number 2, I have Atlanta. Great rookie class from 2025. We saw what James Pierce Jr. and Jalen Walker was able to do off the edge. Now, a ton of offensive talent, but the downside, Atlanta holds no number 1 draft pick this year. Obviously, they traded that a year ago. But even if you don't believe in Michael Penix Jr. under center, 2026 is set to have a light quarterback class, and the 2027 is a heavy quarterback class. So if you don't believe in Michael Penix Jr., you'll have a year to kind of rebuild some other pieces around and then draft your quarterback in 2027. The Raiders come in at number 3 for me. Anytime you have a top pick with an opportunity to get your franchise quarterback, that would be Fernando Mendoza. Plus over $100 million in cap space. I think that sets up nice for a new coach. Dolphins and the Titans kind of pull up the rear. Miami, unfortunately, that bad Tua Tagovailoa contract and then cap space that doesn't look too well. In Tennessee, the front office has just been a mess. The final 8 teams not worrying about their coaching situations this weekend. If it's anything like wild card weekend, well, you're in store for some fireworks. Bills and Broncos will kick things off, followed by the Niners and Seahawks on Saturday. Sunday, it's the Texans and Patriots, and the weekend wraps up with the Bears and the Rams. Still to come on Sports Talk, we spotlight our first Scholar student athlete of 2026. I'll tell you how he's making the most of his final ride. Stay with us. 2026 is already off to a blazing start for athletics across South Georgia. We continue into the new year highlighting the student athletes that excel both on and off the court. This week, we traveled to Camilla, highlighting a 2-sport athlete soaking up every last bit of his senior year. Mackenzie Blaze has the story.
Scholar Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Valdosta State University.
I know when I look back in the future, I'm like, I can't. I gave everything on the court.
Meet Wes Swilley, a senior at Westwood. This fall, Swilley wrapped up his football career after being on varsity since freshman year. The left guard embraced a new role this season, playing on both sides of the ball.
I got all state and all region. It was fun learning a new position. I never really played defensive end. I had somebody prior older than me play it, and so it was fun playing that position with all the coaches, learning, playing with my teammates, and we're pretty good.
What's more impressive than playing 4 years of varsity football? Playing varsity basketball for 5. From playing as an 8th grader to now being the Wildcats captain, Coach Freeze has had a front row seat to Swilley's growth and development.
I mean, he started with a guy that was getting hardly any minutes at all, as a freshman and not playing much, and learned and watched and developed behind the guys that he was behind. And then by, I think, his sophomore year, he was starting to get a lot more minutes and then ended up starting. His junior year became a real presence inside for us.
When he's not playing football or basketball, he's coaching it. Swilley, alongside teammate Nebraska West, coached Westwood's 4th and 5th grade basketball team.
I see some at the games before I go out, and so I like to see them. I cheer them on, they cheer me on, I just like them coming in, have a smile on their face, and just laughing all the time.
In the classroom, Swilly describes himself as a hard worker. With his final year coming to a close, the senior is starting to apply for trade schools where he hopes to become an electrician, working right here in South Georgia.
I just find it kind of cool. I know a lot of people who does the job, and I just like to see how it works, you know. I like the people around here, I like the businesses around here, all that kind of stuff, friendly people.
Wes says he owes his success to his parents, who taught him to never give up and to never look back. Congratulations again, Wes Swilly, on being the first VSU Scholar Athlete of the Year.
All right, thanks, Blaze. Still to come, other big storylines around the sports world. We're going to tackle quick hits next. We're back on the pitch. Coming up soon, it's the first week of training for Atlanta United as the team gets to know new head coach Tata Martino. The players spoke with the media, and a lot of change about to be thrown their way.
Different style of training, much more intensity. It's true that I feel it's gonna be the hardest preseason I ever had in my career until now, but that's good. You know, I try to keep the positive thing. When I'm going to the training, I feel like, okay, pushing now hard, gonna be like making me feel really good inside.
Well, they need to have a hard training because if you didn't watch Atlanta United play last year, they struggled. If you haven't been to a game, though, it's a lot of fun. A huge get for Brent Key in the portal. Running back and Buford native Justice Haynes is headed back to his home state, spending 2 years at Alabama before transferring to Michigan this past year, where he nearly finished as the Wolverines' leading rusher before getting injured late in the year. Well, he's headed back to the Peach State. Falcons owner Arthur Blank staying busy, not just in football, but true to his golf roots. We've already seen him giving out money to girls flag football here in Georgia. How about this $20 million grant from the Arthur M. Blank Family Foundation to Tiger Woods' nonprofit TGR Foundation is launching a new TGR learning lab in Atlanta, Georgia, to empower students to pursue their passions through education. Arthur Blank continues to do good things. More golf news. 5-time major champion Brooks Koepka is returning to the PGA Tour. Koepka last competed in a PGA Tour event back in 2022. Then he pivoted to the Live Golf League, but dropped out in late December with 1 year left on his contract. Koepka is now taking advantage of the PGA's new returning member program. However, there are financial restrictions, including missing out on an estimated $50 to $85 million in potential equity earnings. Koepka plans to make his return at the Farmers Insurance Open, which starts January 29th at Torrey Pines in San Diego.
When criminals pollute the purity of sports by manipulating competition, it doesn't just imperil the integrity of sports betting markets, it imperils the integrity of sport itself and everything that sports represent to us, hard work, determination, and fairness. And when that happens, the Department of Justice will step in to protect what is a sacred institution of American life.
And I'm sure we've all seen the story by now. Federal prosecutors have charged at least 20 people in a basketball game rigging scheme, according to court documents. It all started in 2022 in the Chinese Basketball Association. The indictment claims the fixers also enlisted college basketball players to fix NCAA games. The players were recruited to make sure there were certain outcomes in games. The fixers placed millions of dollars in wagers, and the participating players were paid hundreds of thousands of dollars. The defendants are charged with bribery in the sporting contest and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. And this obviously yet another hit to the sports leagues on the heels of the NBA betting scandal and the poker scandal. What we have seen is it's starting to force leagues to look at kind of how their relationships are and partners in the gambling community, and also those companies, and then rules for their players and employees. Now, I wanted to get back to that Brooks Koepka thing. They talked about him missing out on millions of dollars. I think Liv paid him enough money that he'll be okay. All right, you're going to want to make sure you stay tuned with us tomorrow night. Locker Room Report returns. We're going to have high school basketball. We're going to be talking about one of the best basketball players right here in the Good Life City. This weekend, the NFL divisional round continues. Again, 4 big games, and it all capped off Monday night, the national championship in the 305. Miami Hurricanes, and of course, the Indiana Hoosiers. I know I had Oregon winning it all. I've had to flip the script. I'm going to rock with the Indiana Hoosiers. They look too good, too strong, and too powerful. I'm rocking with Curt Cignetti and the Hoosiers. So we can't wait for that, of course. And if you are a Hawks fan, they are in action tonight. Tip-off in Portland is set for 10 p.m. They are still dealing with a lot of injuries. No Kristaps Porzingis, no Zachary Risache, and of course, we'll see some of those new guys after the big Trae Young trade. Thank you for watching Sports Talk. I'll be right back here at 11 with some GIAA basketball highlights. Have a good night, South Georgia.